All right, spoilers for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse for this movie that probably most of you have seen at this point. But
I can't believe this movie's 5 years old.
yeah, right. I remember like way back when they announced like the sequel and it was coming out. I think initially 2022, maybe even 2021. I don't know. I don't know if COVID affected the release date at all, but. I remember when they initially announced it, it was way far out. I was like disappointed, but it makes sense with how much work goes into it.
And they're basically making both of these at the same time, right?
Yeah, I it makes me wonder, especially if this one's gonna be 2.5 hours long. Like, and I assume the next one will be similar length. I hope the animators are not getting screwed over here.
Yeah. But let's talk about why we love this movie so much. I mean, from the get-go, you get the awesome song. What's the Post Malone song called again? Into the Spider-Verse song. It is called Sunflower. That's what it is. It's Sunflower. No.
Sunflower's a different one. Is it?
I thought it was Sunflower, but maybe it's not. I don't know.
Look.
Sunflower.
Oh, yeah, I know it is.
Sunflower, yeah.
Yeah.
It's boo 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 boo. It's a jam.
Yeah,
I like
it's
it.
the one that he sings at the beginning.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it starts off with that. I really like just the tunes, everything. I love the little like, here we go again. Like, here's the story. You guys know the story.
Yeah, that framing device. I like that a lot too.
All the references to,
I wonder
especially the
if they'll do
Tobey
something
Maguire
similar
one.
with that with the new one.
Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man 3. You get the whole dancing sequence.
Stopping the train.
And we don't talk about that and all that stuff. So
yeah,
it's good. It's that nice little stuff for the people who grew up and watched those movies, and it's still like funny and to watch and all that if you haven't seen the movies. So
yeah,
I like that. I like how they did that. I like how they came back to that bit and kept throwing the comics on top of each other.
Just
Thought that was a good
layers,
touch.
Jimmy. Literal layers.
Literal layers of comics. But I like how things get rolling too, and how the movie gets better as it goes. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, you establish Miles as a character going to school. His dad makes him tell him that he loves him.
Yeah.
All that stuff. You get the disconnect of he's at this new school, leaving his old school. He calls it like the elitist school or whatever, and just kind of doesn't really feel at home there, and kind of not accepted, which is very isolated, alienating. Feeling. You feel bad for Miles at that point. So I love it when his uncle gives him the advice to do the shoulder touch. Yeah, I can do that. Hey, I can do that to you now that we're in the same room, Holden. But yeah, and the whole scene and just the cringe of everything he does is just really awkward, and you feel for Miles and his inability to communicate or be a normal human around anybody at the school.
It's all a metaphor for puberty, even though they say it's puberty also in it.
Yeah. There you go.
One of the things I liked that I obviously didn't really notice until the second time I watched it was I liked when he first comes into the classroom and like there's the presentation on the screen, and it's Olivia Octavius, but he's like blocking the name when he's like,
oh, I didn't realize he's blocking the name. I did catch that it was her.
Yeah, no, it says like Olivia O, and then he's like in front of the rest of the name.
Oh.
So I like that.
That's really smart.
Yeah.
I don't know if you would have caught anyway, since you wouldn't necessarily be looking at
that. No, I liked that a lot.
Yeah, I liked it too, Holden.
Nice. Even though you didn't notice it.
I didn't notice it, but I like it. And I'll look for it the next time I see this movie 20 years from now. And I'll be like, man, this
maybe
movie
I'll rewatch
slaps.
it before the last one.
There you go. Maybe. That is next year, right?
I think so.
Otherwise, we get the sequence of fighting with the original Peter Parker Spider-Man in the big, what is it? Like
Collider.
Collider. That's what I was looking for. I was going to say nuclear reactor. I'm like, that is not it. That's
nuclear
Chernobyl.
Reactor.
Nuclear.
Yeah, I know. It's nuclear.
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 Our good friend Joe Lust says nuclear.
Shout out to Joe Lust.
Shout out Joe Lust. Hopefully he'll be a guest on here someday. But look, I really like that. Green Goblin is huge, massive.
Yeah, just incredible.
Look, huge. Norman, like we can talk this out or whatever. Just massive. That was fun. Who else is in that opening?
think it's really just him, and then Kingpin comes in. And
how do you feel about head trauma at the end?
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm jumping to the end.
That's that point.
That is that point?
Yeah.
Okay.
Goblin. Yeah. Also Tombstone. Forgot Tombstone.
Tombstone's there. Yeah. I was trying to remember who that guy. I'm like, I know who that guy is.
He does. Kingpin does say Tombstone at one point, but yeah, it is. That's Tombstone.
Yeah, I think that's a fun action sequence. I mean, they kill off Spider-Man. Just that. I mean, that Kingpin just annihilating him. That's a overpowered move there.
Yeah.
Just the double fist slam into your chest.
Yeah, no, it's pretty, let's say, brutal for a kids movie. Kind of surprising.
Yeah.
They just kill Spider-Man off that quickly and viciously. I mean, they don't really show it. It's kind of off screen. We see the slam, but we don't actually see the slam on Spidey.
Slam, no. We don't see him. I mean, that's what you guess you do is just smash a spider, right? You know, or something. I mean, I catch them. I catch them, and I fling them outside. That's what I do.
Oh, you're a lot more compassionate than I am.
I am. Mm-hmm. So you listen, all you spiders out there. You just leave me alone.
Find yourself in Jimmy's house.
Yeah, no, I don't. No, don't come here. Just stay away.
Yeah, but then Peter B. Parker shows up.
Yeah, and he's just like, look, man, I don't even know how I got here. Well, I love the scene where it's the funeral for Peter Parker, and MJ's talking about like how we all need to be Spider-Man. And he's like, yeah. He's like, I don't think she means you specifically. I think it's more like a metaphor.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. And then I like that whole chase, or like that whole sequence where
Peter B. Parker's just like
unconscious.
Like that guy taking massive damage at that point.
He keeps getting knocked out every time he wakes up, and that I remember that was like the first clip they released. Like I remember that. I remember watching that before the movie even, or something like that. But yeah.
It's like, oh, what's this? Yeah. No, I like that a lot. Of course, we get the Stan Lee cameo where he gets the suit, and it always fits sooner or later, or eventually, or whatever he says, and then the no refunds ever, except for no returns or refunds ever, which is a great thing. But yeah, no, fun to see Stan Lee, rest in peace. But a lot of just fun sequences. I'm trying to think, anything big happened before they go and to the whatever the corporation is where Doc Ock works.
Alchemex.
Yeah,
I don't know. I like the conversation they have in the alley between Peter and Miles when they're like just walking up the side of the building, just like normal.
Oh yeah,
I think that's a really fun touch. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's cool. Then they go to the diner and all of that, but yeah, not a ton other. Peter B. Parker's wearing sweatpants.
I love it. Yeah. And I was like working out, like getting all strong when the multiverse thing happened. He's just eating pizza and bad, sad. I just love how much of an abject failure he is, and I think that's funny. I laugh at other people's misgivings. Holden.
I'm glad.
That's where I find
empathy with that character.
I'm kind of sad that he figures it out at the end and it works out for him. No, he's great. The whole scene at the, what is it called? Alchemex?
Alchemex, yeah.
That's great. Of course, the Doc Ock reveal blew me away. I was like, what? Dr. Octopus is a woman?
Yeah, it caught me off. I mean, I knew something was off with her, but it did catch me off guard that I feel like that might also be an Ultimate Spider-Man thing. I think there is like an Olivia Octavius in the comics or something. So maybe it's just something we're not well read up on. Maybe it was obvious for some people, but I like her arms and stuff.
Yeah, it's great.
It's really cool the way that they're
more like, they're not so much machine. They're more like, I don't even know what to call them. Like gooey, not gooey, but they're like more amorphous or something.
Yeah, they're
flexible.
Squishy. They're more squishy.
Like flexible instead of like shing shing, like Metallica. Yeah,
it's very fun and different. It's good that they didn't just do the Sam Raimi arms.
Yeah, and those worked out really well.
Yeah,
she was doing some damage.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I love how Miles joins in. He obviously is struggling with his powers of the electrocution and turning invisible and whatnot. So that's fun. I like how he's running with the monitor. Good news, we don't need the monitor. It just throws it away. But yeah, it's like seeing, even though Peter B. Parker is kind of this overweight, kind of over the hill version of Spider-Man, he's still like, yeah, I got this, I'm used to this. He's figuring it out. And, all right, we got to have a bag of play cool. And everybody in the corporation is like ready to kill Spider-Man. I think that's funny. But then you get the moments of like, oh yeah, here's web slinging and what did I say? It's like, I want to say swish and flick, but that's the Wingardium Leviosa. That's not the Spider-Man. Thwip, like the whip, release, something like that. But that's a nice moment between them. And then obviously you get the glitching out, and they find out that they're going to die a horrible, painful death if they stay in this universe and don't return to their own.
Yeah, that whole glitching out effect, I have no idea how they do that. Like I guess I could figure it out probably, but like the amount of time that probably goes into every single like frame of those glitching out segments, like whether it be the city or like the characters, there's just like so much to it. It seems really intense.
I don't know. It looks great.
Yeah, it does.
Everything in this movie looks great, obviously. But another bit that I like, when they're just learning, this must be before then, when Miles is figuring out, when he's like, this is before I think Peter B. Parker comes into the picture, but he's going to jump off the building. And he goes up to the top of the building. He's like hyping himself up to do it. And then he goes back down. It cuts to him going back down.
Oh, yeah.
And he looks, and then there's a smaller building, and he goes to that one. Then he lands on his back. He would have just broken his back and been out of commission for a long time.
Good thing he's Spider-Man.
Yeah, good thing he's Spider-Man and it's a cartoon. But yeah, no, I loved a lot of that. And again, those comedic moments, I think that's one of my favorite ones as well. But yeah, the Alchemex thing, they get the computer, meet up with Aunt May, who's great in this. I love how she's just a boss.
Yeah. I didn't look up who's
waiting for you to show up.
I can't remember who she's played by. Like everyone in this is like, it's kind of a all-star cast.
Oh yeah, I got one of these sheds in my backyard. It's just this like bat cave lair thing. Of course, you get the Insomniac Spider-Man.
It's a pretty emotional first interact. Oh, Lily Tomlin plays Aunt May, but it's pretty emotional initially when they first go to her, because obviously Peter B. Parker has lost his Aunt May, and then she's lost Peter and all of that. So it's very good.
They've all lost somebody, huh? What do I recognize Lily Tomlin from? 80 for Brady.
Yeah, well, she's like a comedian.
Grace and Frankie.
Yeah, she's one of the comedians from back then, and in a lot of the old lady. She's probably in Book Club.
Magic
the next
School
chapter.
Bus. Who's she in Magic School?
Maybe
Bus?
is
she Miss Frizzle?
She might be Miss Frizzle. Is this Miss Frizzle?
To the bus. I don't know. I can't find it.
Oh wait, there we go. Yeah, she is Miss Frizzle.
She's Miss Frizzle. Oh. Wow.
No way.
Aunt May is Miss Frizzle. You heard it here first. Breaking news. Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel. All right, Holden. She's great. I love her as the boss that she is. The lair, which is cool. And discovering, obviously, meeting all of them. You get that one comic book intro thing. Spider-Man Noir, not in it enough.
No.
I am sad that he is not going to be returning.
Nick Cage is so good as Spider-Man Noir. Disappointing, yeah, that he's not coming back.
It's too bad.
Might get the other two back. We haven't heard anything.
Yeah.
Penny Parker.
She's great with the robot.
Yeah, which is it's a fun, unique spin on it. I don't know if that's probably a comic, or maybe that's a what if or something. I don't know, but it's pretty cool. And Peter Porker, played by John Mulaney.
Yeah, he's great.
Who's now in 2 of these great animated movies.
Oh yeah, that's right, because he's Jack Horner.
Yeah, he's Jack Horner.
I didn't put that together in my head.
Connection.
But now you say it. Man, Puss in Boots is good. Emily and I were saying that we got to watch that one.
Oh
soon, too.
It's so good.
Now that we've watched it. Hold on, how many? You've seen that one 3 times?
Yeah.
Which one of these do you like better?
That's a good question.
Gotta be Spider-Verse. I think you gotta give it to Spider-Verse, right? Puss in Boots is great, but Spider-Verse,
I don't know, man. I'm tempted to say. I feel like I'm just so like I feel like there are a lot of things about Puss in Boots I like a lot more than this, but maybe this one's more consistent. I don't know. I love. They're pretty close. Maybe I'll rewatch Puss in Boots this week. Put them out next to each other in my mind.
Well, if you haven't seen that one, go watch it.
Yeah.
And then listen to our review of it. Yeah, other things to talk about with this movie after that. We obviously have the team, but the fight at Aunt May's house is great. I feel terrible for Aunt May because her home is getting destroyed. Can we take this outside? I also like how she's just beating the crap out of people too.
Spider-Man Noir has a line is, "We don't pick the ballroom, we just dance."
He's got a lot of great lines. He's like, "It's a long story. Guess it wasn't that long," or whatever he says.
Yeah, no, that fight exemplifies one of the things I like about all the fights in this is, especially that one because there's so many things going on. But like it's so easy to tell what's happening in any if you look at any single point. Like if obviously there's like the main focus usually with Miles or Peter B. Parker, but if you look in the background, there's like Penny Parker going ham on, or Spider-Ham going ham on Scorpion or something. It's pretty cool.
And that's the beauty of animation too, is you really can just control all of that stuff and fine tune it, and they use it to such great effect in that sequence. And we haven't talked about the Prowler yet. Obviously, who ends up being Miles' uncle, which I think is really obvious. From the beginning of the movie.
That's also just that's a well-known comic thing too. I feel like I knew that going into the movie, even because Aaron Davis, Prowler. Also,
well, you're a nerd, so
played by Donald Glover in Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He's like I don't remember. He's just some like criminal that Spider-Man interrogates for something in that movie, and he's supposed to be Aaron Davis, and I think he even says something about I need to tell my nephew about this or something like that.
I've not seen that movie in a while, but nice catch, Holden.
Yeah. My brain full of useless knowledge has to come into use sometime.
And now that we've brought him up, he dies.
Yeah.
But I just like his interactions with Miles and kind of that conflict within him that he wants to be this role model, but also this is kind of his gig. So obviously he has the choice to hurt Miles and he doesn't, and then Kingpin just wastes him. And
Prowler in general in this movie is just a very intimidating, he has that
great design,
great
music to go with him too. The chase sequences, the one in the subway is really exciting too.
Yeah, he's got the big claw and it's the bike, and he's awesome. Really
he's
cool.
Great. Yeah, I only have good things to say about him. That's really cool. I mean, obviously the effect that has on Miles, that relationship with his dad, all those regrets and that sort of thing. That's just really cool. Miles is not ready to be Spider-Man though, so they like you don't even know how to do any of this stuff.
Can't do any of your powers on command.
But it's a leap of faith, Holden. It's a leap of faith. So he jumps off.
He does it literally.
He literally
jumps off a building.
And then he vandalizes one of the Spider-Man costumes to make a cool looking costume.
Which, I think that's great how he makes his costume, and it's so based off of what we've established. He's very artistic, and he makes the stickers, and he does some graffiti as well. And it's
a great costume.
Yeah, it's great.
I like the black and red. Yeah, black and red over the blue and red.
Honestly, yeah. I think I think I like Miles's costumes in general more. Mostly because of the color palette, but
I'm a sucker for the Scarlet Spider costume. I don't know why.
It's so silly looking.
It is. I just really like it though. I don't know why I like that. That's so
okay.
Much.
When I played the Insomnia and the Spider-Man 2017 or whatever, I played the Ghost Rider spider costume a lot.
Yeah,
that one's
really ridiculous.
It's kind of bad, but I like it a lot.
But yeah, so lots of good things there. And then obviously we have he jumps off the building. You get the iconic upside down jumping city shot. Really cool. So yeah, and then we get the
sponsored by Nike.
Yeah, those are nice shoes.
They are.
Yeah. But we should see the movie Air, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. Those Jordans?
They must be, right?
I don't know.
I
don't know anything about shoes.
Air Force Ones. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Air Force.
Those aren't Jordans, though, are they? I don't know. I don't know anything about shoes.
Are there actually shoes called Air Force Ones?
Yeah. Hold on.
Well, that's kind of funny.
I think there's Air Force too. I think those are two different
Air
types.
Force 2s.
We go to the final confrontation where they're trying to do the override, and that whole battle, which is so colorful and just wild,
awesome,
amazing. You have the whole banquet sequence, which has that hilarious moment where Peter B. Parker is talking to MJ about the bread.
Yeah,
I wish
by Zoe Kravitz.
Yeah, that's right. Which is I did not know until rewatching it. I was like, oh, Zoe Kravitz. That's great. Spider-Gwen is great in this movie too. I think she is a really fun, exciting character to watch as well. I like the chemistry.
What's her name? Kate Bishop from the Hawkeye show.
Oh, what is her? Yeah, what's her name? Gosh, I'm forgetting.
Haley Steinfeld.
Haley Steinfeld. Is she related to somebody?
I don't know. Maybe.
Well, she is related to somebody, but I don't know if we know
somebody that we care about, not some no name.
Yeah, but that she's great. That whole sequence is fun. But then, the reactor, such a colorful, fun sequence. They each go in individually. You have like the death of the robot.
But the spider's still alive.
Yeah,
so
the spider's still alive. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, is this really that sad?
I think it's just sad because I think it's supposed to be sad for most people because it's like, oh, we haven't really seen the spider or anything, but then she gets the spider out. It's like, oh, it's okay. Yeah,
lots of good sequences in that, and he does the electrocution. Just hey,
that's so good. The way they set that up, I love that. And the animation in that whole sequence is fantastic. They've got all like the buildings popping out and everything. I love like the weird like blobby like particle effects going everywhere. And it just gets like ridiculous like how many there are, and it's incredible. I just can't imagine how they make this movie half the time.
It's gorgeous. I love the one sequence where the shockwave. It's one when it first goes in and then they're looking at the street lamp thing. He's like, oh, it must be a Banksy or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
That was a funny moment.
That's funny.
Back when that was like right when Banksy like shred that one.
Oh, yeah. The
painting at the auction. So
incredible.
Like Banksy was super relevant at the time. They wouldn't have known that while they were making the movie. But
no. Timed well. Although I doubt there were many people going to see this movie because they'd heard the Banksy story and they're like, "Oh, I hear there's a Banksy reference in this movie."
Banksy reference. But that was funny. It helped me get the joke, which I appreciated. Otherwise, just great sequence. And at the end, Miles is kind of been Spider-Man for like 3 days now, and he's like, "Woo, I'm Spider-Man," and all that stuff. And it literally ends with what seems to be the beginning of the next one, very Back to the Future style.
Yeah, which is weird because I think they're supposed to. I think I heard there's like a year difference between the two movies, so I don't know.
Huh.
It's interesting.
I didn't know that.
I mean, I guess we do see a montage of Miles helping out people, so theoretically that could be a year later.
Yeah. So maybe he's just like, she's like, "Hey, Miles," and he's like, "Nope," and he just closes the portal.
Maybe next time.
Yeah. Awesome. Anything else you want to say about this movie, Holden?
No, I don't think so.
We're probably missing
got the post-credit scene.
Oh yeah, which one is? I did not watch it.
That was
is it
Spider-Man
when they're
2099? Yeah, pointing at each other.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, good reference to the meme.
Yeah, very good. Otherwise, I think that's it. Huh?
I think that's it.
All right, sweet. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse spoiler review. Awesome. Let's dive into our last segment of the show, Holden, which is, of course, what are you doing?